Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Carrie. I'm a fantasy author, a mom, and a sometimes vlogger, and I am super excited about today's creator spotlight episode. I've got the writer and some of the cast members of a Power Rangers audio drama I've listened to twice, and it's ridiculously fantastic. I have the link to the YouTube channel. You can go listen to it in the description, as well as almost everybody's Twitter handle. So you can check everybody out. I do have a few announcements before I bring everyone on, and we're still waiting for some people to show up. First of all, my Project NICU Mom is in full swing. You can check out everything on my website. That is, we are creating care packages for moms who have children in the NICU to try and alleviate their stress of the whole experience. Bath and body products, books, that kind of thing. So everything is on my website. My February vlog will be up this week sometime. And my occasional pop-up productivity streams have been moved to Twitch, so I will add that to my link of socials. So I'm going to bring everybody on who is here, and they can introduce themselves, and then we'll get started. So here we go. Hi, guys.
Oh, hey!
Do you want us to go one at a time, or?
Yeah.
I am Carl. I'm the writer, producer, and editor of the series. Basically, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And this is a couple of the cast. A couple more will be joining us as we go along.
I'm Joey Sourlis. I am the voice of Tommy Oliver, the Green Power Ranger.
I'm Connor Terrell. I'm the voice of Billy. I also voice Babu and Bulk. and I was a little jealous. I saw you have a Green Ranger, but where's the blue one? Come on, no love for Billy.
I found these at a used toy store. They only had these two.
Thank you. Carl's always got my back. So yeah, hopefully yours will come along soon. But I actually want to mention, you mentioned about the whole thank you mom thing was where mom's in the NICU. My mom actually works in the NICU, so that actually kind of relates to me as well. She is a neonatal nurse practitioner. She's actually been there for 30 years now.
Yeah, my daughter was a preemie, and so I know the stress that can be. So
I was a preemie as well.
We're creating care packages to deliver to the Cleveland Clinic hospitals.
Yeah. Joey, are you going to introduce us to your cat?
She just ran away, but that's Jasmine.
As soon as you go live on the internet, the cat wants attention. That's how it always works.
I know. It's crazy.
I start recording. My cat's jumping in my lap.
Mine too. It's ridiculous. She's about a year and a half old, but she's the size of a kitten, so it's quite a treat.
Aww.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get into the main part of the interview, and we're waiting for everybody else, Carl, you had something you wanted to mention about somebody associated with the show that you guys recently lost.
Mm-hmm. Obviously we set up this interview like a month or so ago, and then obviously last week or so we were starting to do all the details and get everything sorted. And then over the last week I got the news that our composer, who has done the music for all the X-Men shows and all the Power Rangers shows and everything I've done, passed away on Monday. Unfortunate circumstances. Obviously nobody knew it was going to happen. I was talking with him last week about, I was sending scenes to him for the next X-Men episode. And it was a case of, yeah, at the start I didn't believe it. Like, I got the message from Ryan, Craig, who played Sebastian Shaw in the X-Men show, and he had been much closer to him. Like, he was more in contact with him. Because the thing is with Declan was we spoke all the time on Facebook chats back and forth. We spoke all the time on when I was sending things over. We only spoke on voice a couple of times, but Ryan was a bit closer with him, and he sent the tell me what would happen. And at first I was like, no way, like this is some joke or something. And then obviously I started getting all the details to the point that now his dad and his family's contacted me and invited me to stream the funeral, which is, and it's a weird thing of being like, I knew the guy for 7 years and I didn't realize how young he was when he did the majority of our scores, because he was 20. He turned 21 in November, which is insane, which means the majority of the scores he did for X-Men, including the first cover for season 1 and everything, he was 15 and 16 years old, which is nuts. I did not know at that time, because he was doing cinematic music for our shows on a monthly basis, and he was 15 years old, and I did not know that, because obviously if social media, you can change you use it. A lot of people make themselves older so they can get onto Facebook, so I did not know how old he was. Whenever we spoke on voice, he did definitely not sound that young. But then to realize, he was only 21 when he obviously this happened. I can say that obviously it wasn't, as far as it wasn't anything to do with the current pandemic directly. It was unfortunately a result of whatever headspace he got himself into. I don't obviously want to go into huge detail on it, but I know the details of what happened, and it's just a shame, because he did so much for us over the years, and obviously there was a long break from the old days to the new days of the series. Back when I did the X-Men series, and then I came back with Power Rangers, and then went back to X-Men. And I think some of his best work was over the past couple of years since we came back on the Dark Phoenix series and that. Just crazy. So as I said on the tribute show, if you want to hear me talk about it more, I did a tribute show to him on my YouTube channel and on the X-Men podcast feed. It's got a mixtape full of his music, and I talk a bit more about it and a bit more about him, because I feel like the best thing I could do is continue to use his music going forward, continue to use his themes and honor his legacy. Obviously, eventually, somebody else will probably have to come on board, but for now, for the next episode, I will continue to just use the tracks I've got available to me to fill in and let him be the sole composer still.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, sorry. It kind of put a damper on things, but we can still have fun. I just wanted to take a moment to speak about it, because as much as I was a person who was involved in the shows back from day one, so was he. Literally the first notes of the X-Men series that anybody heard was his music. So, and he scored every episode.
Wow, that's wow. We have somebody new. Keith, would you like to introduce yourself and say what role you play on the show?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Keith Seymour, and I play Zordon. So.
He's the guy in the tube that tells us what to do.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Actually, that'll be Carl.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm speaking my exposition through Keith.
I'm just the boss of the show.
So yeah,
Keith, you're not blind. I'm not crazy, man. It looked like he has a big pint of Guinness in his hand.
No, it is a glass of, but it's Coke in the glass, I promise.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting on one more, but we can start asking questions.
Kat says she's on the way.
All right.
Shortly.
All right. And anybody watching, if you have questions for everybody, feel free to drop them in the chat and I will get to them. What was your inspiration, Carl, behind doing a Power Rangers drama? I know you've mentioned some of your other shows. Did you grow up watching the Power Rangers, or
It was down to that. Obviously, I don't think anybody. I mean, I know people who like their parents are getting their kids to watch the original show now, and they get into it as much as we were. But I think it's a tremendous nostalgia thing. Give me an example, because they were until recently they were all on Netflix, I believe. We got Kat here.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, hi, Kat.
Hey guys.
It was a case. Yeah, Kat, introduce yourself, and then I'll carry on.
Hey guys, I'm Katherine Black, and I voiced 2 roles of Kimberly the Pink Ranger and Scorpina. Yes.
It's a case of I grew up with it when I was in the age range of when the series first came out, and I got super into it as a kid. Loved it, took it super seriously. When you get older, it kind of you move on from it. It's a silly kid show, what have you. I stayed through to about In Space, watched a bit of Lost Galaxy, and then obviously I kind of grew out of it. But those things that you're into as a kid never leave you, especially that awesome theme song. And once I found out that all the good stuff from the show was Japanese footage, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So like everything,
Yes. Oh my god.
Everything cool about it was a completely different show that with completely different characters.
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
good
you
shit.
watch it like 20 years later and you see how dubbed Rita is.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah, I just found out a few years ago. I go, oh, it's from a different show, and they used it.
Yeah, and once you find out, you can't unsee it when you watch all the villain scenes and how cut together some of the episodes are. Like, they have the Megazord in the first episode, and then the 5th episode they get the crystals for the Megazord. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, and one thing is you get another clue. It's like, wait, they haven't been with meeting Rita yet, face to face. They never. The Rangers and Rita never face to face each other.
No, because they were completely different actors on a completely different continent, recording it, 3 years later.
That's the trick. That's the trick we find out when we get older.
Yeah, which is why Zed was able to interact, because it was an American creation. Yeah. But it was kind of going back to that, and I've always kind of, as I've got older, I'm like, I think if you took the original concept of just the super team, took the nostalgic elements of the suits and the music and the Zords and stuff, but took it more seriously and because you go back and watch the show, because everybody, you go back and you watch it and you're like, oh, okay, this is not as good as I thought it was. But I still, have tremendous nostalgia for it. I'd love to see it done with proper writing that takes its audience seriously, make it more of an all ages show.
Well, that's what I liked about what you've done. You've kind of taken a lot of the plot points of the original show that were like, because reasons, and you built them up a little bit.
And I didn't go as far as the 2017 movie where they went completely opposite direction. It was all teen drama, and they didn't have enough Rangers. They didn't have enough of the Japanese aesthetic or the stuff that we were nostalgia for. Like, if you're not playing the Ron Wasserman theme, and you can't see the Zords connected together and they look like what they're supposed to, like how the Zords in that movie didn't even look anything like what they were supposed to look like. There was just a lot. It went too far in the other direction, and I wanted to find that middle balance of, I want to have Tommy playing the dragon flute and calling the dragon sword, but I want to make it grounded enough to where you believe it in the show. So it's a case of, it's like when they make a Superman movie or a Batman movie. I wanted to take Power Rangers and do what the Voltron series came out a couple of years ago did. Take a thing that was inherently a kid's show, but add some verisimilitude to it, add some grounding to it, make it more like a Marvel or a DC comic book or an animated series or something like that, where it takes itself more seriously. So the nostalgia gets you, and oh my god, yes, you get to hear the things happening, but you also have emotional reasons and character reasons and story reasons that make sense to get to those points, and you see the characters get to that point. Like Rita starts out as a scientific commander of a ship, and she gradually, as she gets more and more frustrated and more mad, she becomes the witch because she goes into magic because of she can't do anything with science, and every side's betraying her, and she's got to become what she becomes from her ancestral stuff. And it's a lot of fun figuring that stuff out, because I feel like my X-Men series at this point has got to the point where I'm more transcribing. I'm more taking the good stuff and adding little tweaks here and there to modernize it. But this is much more what I was doing with the original X-Men show, which is taking silly stuff and making it make sense and making it connect. And especially this season, the second season, I've gone completely off the rails from the show. I'm mixing season 1 and season 2 and the movies, and yeah, it's a whole different thing now.
Yeah, I just listened to the most recent episode of season 2, and I was just like, yeah, and
that was
making it more modern, and then not everybody is located in Angel Grove. Like the Rangers are from all over the country.
Yeah, because there was 2 conceits of the show, was that they were all friends originally and all color coded, and they always dressed in their colors. And
I don't know.
and that they were teenagers. And I was like, okay,
Yes.
and I was like, okay, I can make one of those things work. I either make them all friends, or I make them and I'll go with the teenager aspect and build something in there as to why they are. Because I always enjoy the sort of CW-ness, for lack of a better word. I always enjoy doing the kind of high school thing. I think it adds something to do kind of the Spider-Man sort of version of superheroes, or the young X-Men or New Mutants version of superheroes. So I enjoy doing that. So I was like, okay, I'll go with the teen aspect, but I think it makes more sense if they're from all over the country. But then obviously in the, not to spoil too much for people who haven't seen the show, but in the second season, when the new team come in, they're like, oh yeah, I found them all in California. And Alphys literally turns to Zordon and said, oh, I think we may have tried too hard. But in the original concept, it makes more sense.
And I mean, I started watching the show when I was 9. So, and then as the original cast started to leave, I lost interest. I was also getting involved in other things. Like, yeah. Once Kimberly was gone, because she was my favorite, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I'm kind of done.
I think it was like every girl's favorite. Like she was like my favorite. I guess because of the pig and the humor.
I mean, Trini was awesome.
Yeah,
she was really cool. But I mean, maybe okay, not gonna lie, I wanted to marry Tommy.
I wanted to marry Tommy.
Joey,
So
do I hear wedding bells?
Oh,
Or more
Lord.
like, well, I think
The boy, he's got the hair.
I think the guys had definitely were the crush on Kimberly. I know that. I didn't. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I hear.
She's a staple of most kids' childhood.
Yes.
From my time, anyway.
I think the 3 that stuck around through the majority of the original series are the ones that people attach to the most, because unfortunately, like Jason, Trini, and Zach, they were cool, but by the time they started getting character development is when they got fired. So like they never had chance to develop as much, whereas Tommy, Kimberly, and Billy were around for at least 2.5 seasons, 4 seasons.
And then I think the actress who played Trini passed away in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
2001. Yeah.
Which is a shame, because she never got to see, like all the rest of the actors have been around for the resurgence of it, where people have grown up and are now making better versions of their character. But it's a shame that she never got to experience that.
Yeah, and I know Jason David Frank still does the Comic-Con circuit and stuff. I've met him multiple times.
Wow.
In fact, I was showing Carl. He signed my little.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Very
If
nice.
I could find it, I could find a trading card he signed of mine, but I can't. He also signed my dragon dagger as well. So
Oh wow.
But I actually have a question, Carrie. Are we taking audience questions right now, or do we want to continue going? We actually do have some questions already.
I have let's see. Chat seems to be blowing up right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't want to take up all the time, because I did that on the last. I listened to that whole thing we did on Discord, and I was like, "Holy cow!" There's several times where somebody will go off a line of thinking, and I'm like, and I'll jump in and I'll talk for
some of these questions are
20 minutes.
what I have.
You're good at it, though, Carl. You're good at it.
Yeah, I'll try and give everybody a chance to speak this one.
Okay, some of these questions that are popping up are similar to what I have. So, For like the rest of you guys, what made you did you guys have like grow up watching Power Rangers? And
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
Same.
I definitely did for sure.
Yeah. So I'm probably among the youngest in the cast. I'm only 24. So I had my Power Rangers. My first one was probably like a Lightspeed Rescue, whereas a lot of you probably saw close to the first one in the States. But no, I grew up watching. I actually have a Red Ranger come to the Red Ranger come to my birthday party at one point when I was like 5 years old. But it was awesome.
Which Red Ranger was it?
I think I remember it was Mighty Morphin, but it didn't matter. It was the guy that hired.
All right, I thought you meant the actor. I was like,
no, not the actor. I don't think so. I don't think Austin St. John was that hard up. It was literally just this guy in a costume. So I don't know, but I don't think Austin John was that hard up to come to a 5-year-old's birthday party in 2001.
He might have been, though. He might have been.
Yeah, I grew up watching this series. My favorite actually was Dino Thunder. That's one I really grew up with. The one where Tommy returned and all that. But yeah, I still kind of sort of follow the series. And
I did watch Dino Thunder on Netflix just to watch Tommy's return.
Yes,
I keep up with Tommy's whole canon.
Tommy's the man.
Oh yeah,
he was my favorite when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my Power Ranger story. I've met a lot of them actually at Comic Cons. My favorite one was actually meeting Jason Dave Frank, obviously, but also Michael Copon who played Blue Time Force Ranger. Because he actually was born and grew up in the same state I'm from. So it's kind of rare to see actors from Virginia. They're usually all from New York, California.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to meet like some of the other actors, but so far because that's like all he seems to do now. Jason David Frank.
That's how he makes his living. So like,
Yes.
He also does vlogs, so he's got that.
Yeah.
I mean, Joey's voice was close enough that people were messaging me saying, "Did you actually get him on the show?"
That's what I thought. That's what I thought initially. When I was listening.
You nailed that voice.
Pretty good.
When I initially listened, I thought, "Wait, did we actually get him?"
Oh, guys.
He's such a
I actually speaking of the vlogs, I'm a big fan of Jason David Frank's vlogs because I like seeing his martial arts stuff. I like seeing his Comic-Con stuff. His day-to-day life is very interesting, and I always watched his vlogs on YouTube. So for some reason, I don't know why, just the voice actor in me just kind of picked up on his dialogue, and I was sort of able to pick up on how he talks and add that sort of youngness and youthfulness into my voice. So it was an accident, kind of. So yeah.
And when I was recently re-listening this week, I was doing it a lot in the car, and I was driving my little runner. Caught her starting to go, ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
When she's a little older, I will introduce her to the show. She's not quite 2 yet, so we're not there yet.
Yeah, she can't be listening to what Zach says all the time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a thing of making it like PG-13 means I get to do some of the more adult stuff, which would not be if I've been allowed on the original show. But this is my show, and I think it makes it unique and stand out. I think it makes it to because like that kind of stuff happens in like a Marvel movie or stuff. So as long as it's on the level of that, I'm not going to have somebody outright say the F word, or have somebody have explicit adult stuff or whatever.
And having them the characters actually have more of a, I guess, emotional arc instead of everything being like sunny and happy and very full housey.
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
happy, and then there's a problem, and then we resolve it, and we go on with our day. Like, no, there's,
Yeah.
especially
Consequences. Yeah, absolutely.
teenagers dealing with, world-ending battles. There's an effect to that.
and losing their family members, losing their friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Poor Jason.
Gosh, yeah.
War
Yes.
situations, really,
Spoilers.
and kind of,
Yeah, that's what I like about this is like also now it's also showing the parent, like having parents, like how would they feel about when their own kids are rangers and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's never been brought up, and I like that idea.
None of them seem to like that idea.
Yeah, well, it's like you have your kid is a ranger, but what are you gonna do? Like,
Mm.
you gotta punish them or not?
oh,
But
they're
that's
just going
very
out there
hard.
fighting aliens, but hand-to-hand combat.
You
Yeah,
can't
it's
ground me.
hard
I'm
to
a Power
obey.
Ranger.
That's hard. It's very tough, especially for Kimberly's dad. That's very tough for her to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I said on the last thing we did, I think that was a complete accident of like, okay, I need them to morph, but her dad's there, like because it was kind of a series of logical things of like, okay,
Yeah.
Jason's in hospital, where would they take him? They take him to Angel Grove because that's where Kim is. Okay, so who's going to pay for his hospital stay? Well, her dad knows something's going on because she said at the dinner, one of my friends has been stabbed. So her dad came, and then it was like Rita sent Tommy, so then they have to morph, but her dad's there, and I was like, okay, so they're gonna have to morph in front of him. Okay, I guess he's gonna be a main character now. So it all just kind of evolved naturally from that.
Yeah. Oh, I should warn everybody. There are mild spoilers.
Yes. Yeah.
Mild spoilers.
I'm gonna try and try and talk about it as spoiler free as possible. But we
keeping my mouth shut.
deliberately kept it to the season the season 1 cast, just to keep things relatively spoiler free. But we will talk mild spoilers about season 1 because there's no way to talk about the story really without doing so.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Back to the earlier question about like watching it as a kid or whatever. I think I'm probably one of the oldest of the cast, and I was a little bit, I would say, like not too old to like kind of get into it, but I did appreciate it. Like I could stand the high school stuff, but I love the martial arts stuff. I was studying martial arts at the time. I was big in like stuff, and one of the kind of cool things about that show is there's kind of different parts, different people. I love the martial arts stuff. That's kind of what I watch for. Whereas some people love the monster stuff. That's what they watch for. And I guess some people like the high school stuff because I don't know, they were fans of Saved by the Bell.
Is Keith fading in and out for anybody else? It sounds like he's actually in a time warp.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Oh really?
It sounds
sorry.
it sounds like you're going in and out, like cutting in and out,
Yeah.
like sort of phasing.
Get Alpha 2, repair the tube.
You check my mic. Hold on. Is it better now or is it the same? Or
Yeah. It sounds good. It just sounds more like it sounds like you're on an old phone.
excellent.
An
Like a
old
flip
phone.
phone.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Sounds like you're calling into a radio show on an old phone.
Yeah.
That's what I was
You're not-
thinking.
You're not holding up the internet for anybody by calling us right now, are you?
Mom, get off the phone. If it keeps happening, tell me it, and I'll take I'll use the computer mic. It's not as good quality, but it will be possible.
No, you say you're not cutting in and out now. At least we can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you're fine now.
Yeah, raises up closer. It might be because it's like it's like dynamic, so it it works on like it cuts out the background noise if I go too far away.
Yeah.
that's probably might be it. Yeah.
If it's a dynamic, you need to eat that thing.
And if you went too close, we'd just see your forehead. So
Yeah. I did my first 2 audiobooks were for dynamic. I actually think I transitioned from regular condenser to my second one. I can't remember now, but it was hard to keep those audio levels consistent.
Such a pro, Connor. You should have given me a pep talk before we got involved with this. Hold on, I'm trying to get it closer so it.
So, Katherine, you play Scorpina, and everybody knows about the Dark Green Ranger arc, which I love. You guys did with that. Did you guys have to get into like?
Sorry.
Sorry, yes, it's very unexpected to have that happen. It's like,
oh no, I wasn't referring to that.
Oh
no, explain the character itself.
Oh,
Trust me, Kat.
We were all thinking it.
Trust me, Kat has been scarred by that since I wrote it in that particular thing that she's referring to.
Yes, well,
I wasn't even talking about that little twist. I was gonna ask about getting into the character, or the evil character.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like for me, because I remember seeing Scorpina from on TV, but all I know is like she's just there, like fighting off the Rangers and all that. And I liked thinking like, what if she's more than just a fighter? Like she can also sting with words, not just someone to sting and fighting. So I'd like to add the juiciness in her, like to sting in their people's minds in her words.
Yeah. She pouted a lot in the original show.
Yeah, but
a lot of that is like Saban is like, ham it up. Like Rita, her performance is just the Wicked Witch of the West, right? That's what they told her to do.
Yeah, so that's why I was trying to think like she's also like evil just like Rita. So I thought just get to know better Scorpina more about her or what she does than just being a physical fighter just for Rita, like just like a villain assistant and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just like the idea here, Scorpina, like being this stingy kind of person you will ever meet. But haven't seen what her real humanity is like yet. Could be interesting if that ever happens.
Yeah. I just know that like from a writing aspect, I struggle with getting in the headspace of villains. So I was just wondering if there was like a process for you or for Joey when he had to do Evil Green Ranger.
I had a process for sure.
Same for me. Like for Scorpina, I try to think of like this is how I would say when I'm really mad at someone who actually like I trusted, but then I lost their trust on them. Like what ways I would want to hit them bad so hard on them. I think that's how I want to feel for her, for a villain. Like maybe something happened like someone she trusts, but then not anymore.
Yeah, my logic for when Tommy went sour apple is I wanted to separate good Tommy from bad Tommy. And the dragon story did play into it. I kind of wanted to like mirror Lord Draken a little bit because I wanted evil Tommy to act on emotion and raw anger, like almost as if one part of his brain was turned off and another was activated. Because it was a chip. It was something planted into his head. And I wanted Tommy to sound really emotional. In the scene where Jason's in the hospital and Tommy's right out front with the Dragon Zord, like telling him to come out. Like I wanted to incorporate like a desperation almost to his voice, to see like you can picture this guy losing for sure, you know. So that was my process behind it.
Yeah, I think with him it was a case of I wanted to build something in there. Tommy shows up in the second episode as like a side character to Kim, and I wanted them to have a relationship before that happened. So it's not just this guy that just met, and then a new Ranger showed up. What a coincidence! I wanted it to have that inbuilt relationship. So, and especially as you get towards the end of season 1, you realize, I like to imbue things with emotional stuff and character relationships and stuff like that, so that when things happen that maybe happened on the show, maybe didn't happen on the show, you feel for these characters and understand where they're coming from. Like Rita, my version of Rita is much more of a schemer, and you can see, okay, I've been banished from my empire. I want to get back to where I was. I want my place of prominence again. I want my command back. So she goes after these coins, and then
some.
And then then the Rangers get in the way, and she keeps throwing things at them, and it keeps failing, and she gets more frustrated. Okay, I've got this other power coin. I'll do this. That goes wrong. She eventually goes completely off the rails, but at that point, Lord Zed turns up and says, I'm stripping you of command. You're in jail. You're done because you stole from me and you failed. And then she's got nowhere else to turn. So now she's going and she's got this, her and Scorpina both have got this agency that they never originally had, where they're doing things for their own motivations rather than because plot.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. Yeah, that's what I like about it on Rita and Scorpina in this one, is that they're trying to show they're strong, not just villains, but strong, independent women of wanting to do something and not just letting the men take in charge. They both want something. Like, we're women, but we can do this like men.
Yeah, I wanted to take the very slim character stuff that was in the original. Okay, so Kim's family got divorced, so I can go on that.
Yeah.
With Goldar, he was loyal to Zed and betrayed Rita. I can use that as a thing of like, he's ultimately loyal to Zed and he's been reporting to him this entire time, but his wife cheated on him, and that came from as with a lot of stuff from that I tried to imbue character and history to, I took from the original Sentai. So like you find out this whole history of the original coins was the old Japanese team. They used to have the coins back in sort of ancient times, and you have it builds this lore and this history that wasn't there in the original, and it also gives like, I like the idea of Scorpina and Goldar being married from the Sentai show, so I brought that in, and I called Rita Bandora because it's a much less cheesy name than Repulsor, but I called the ship Repulsor as a homage sort of thing. So she's kind of a merge of that, but also between my writing and Jeannie's voice has become almost a completely different character. Like, she does say, make my monster grow, but that's like episode 10. And at that point, she's gone through this whole arc of being this commander of a starship to then becoming a witch. She's like, my mother used to have all these ancient powers, but I don't necessarily believe in magic, but this is the only thing I've got left. And then she becomes more and more powerful as the series goes on to now she's really more of the villain than Zed is at the minute, because Zed's taking a backseat and slow burning at the minute.
She must have done something why she left. That's why I was always curious when I was reading the script. Like,
I think she's playing smarter than Zed. I think Zed took, like, he knows all the Rangers well. If he wanted, he could just beam down people and just shoot them in the face at their houses right now. But his ego could not stand that he got defeated by these kids. And he's like, no, we are not going to do that. I am going to defeat them on grand fashion, and I'm going to let everybody know that I'm the one that beat them and I'm the new emperor of this world. Whereas Rita's playing a lot smarter and doing the infiltration thing because she knows how close she got doing that with Tommy. Tommy, being this sort of Winter Soldier programmed person, got very close to getting probably the closest she got to beating them. Now she's like, okay, let's do that times 5. And and at the same time, she's playing both sides, and she's got a mole with Zed. She's got a mole with, this is season 2 stuff, which is kind of mildly spoiling, but yeah. I'll shut up before I say too much.
Again, it's fleshing out all of the stuff that was because reasons, and going on the journey to find the Zords, and they don't just appear and
making them earn it. And like, you have the problem of them all being, every time they go out, they have to explain to their parents and they get grounded. And it's like, you get that kind of Spider-Man thing that never was in the original show. And also then down the line, you get it becoming a more problem. It's like, where do you keep the spirit to? And Zach even says in one of the season 2 episodes, he says, all my old friends, we don't really hang out anymore. Because like, I'm doing this all the time and you become my friends, because none of them could understand what we've been through and what we've done. And then at the same time, for that reason, you have Jason, who I feel like is probably the most fleshed out of the characters at this point, where you see his point of view of, I liked this girl and then she got with this guy, but it's, she'll probably come back to me because we've got this thing of being rangers, and then he becomes a ranger. It's like, and then he becomes an evil ranger and does what he does and all that kind of stuff. And you can see, but then obviously they get to a point then at the end where, they're in almost the status quo. But the thing I wanted to avoid most in the series is every week Rita sends down a monster, it fails, they do it again. Send down a cliche monster with a gimmick, it fails again. That's the reason we got to Tommy in 5 episodes, not just because there was only 12 episodes in the season, but also I wanted the escalation to be natural. And the more you beat a bad guy, and this is why I said it's taken a backseat in season 2, the more you beat a bad guy, the weaker they become. And the more, Zed shows up and he's awesome in the season 2. But by mid-season 2, he's a joke because he's been beaten too many times. And I don't want that to happen to him, and I didn't want that to happen to Bandora, which is why I stayed away from that format and just let it escalate naturally. And everything that they did, you could see why they were doing it. There's a time gap in between episodes 3 and 4 where it's mentioned that she's been sending things down, and the Rangers have defeated lots of monsters between 3 and 4. On almost a weekly basis, kind of like the show, the first run of the show happened between 3 and 4, but there was a reason for it, because in the end of episode 3, she says, I'm going to continue, because I know I'm not going to win by sending down these things, but every time I send one down, I destroy more property, I kill more people, and I scar the world, and then eventually when my Green Ranger shows up, then he can finish the job, which was her plan at that point. So there's a reason behind what she's doing, rather than just a futile plan that she knows isn't going to work.
Yeah, what you said about making them earn it, it's like, I didn't notice it the first time I watched the show when I was a kid, because you don't pay attention to those things. But rewatching it, it's like, they get the powers, okay, then something bigger happens that they can't handle, and then, oh hey, there's these Zors. Well, where was that when we needed it? Because reasons. What?
I remember from the show. Like the Green Ranger arc was like the best out of all the Power Ranger arcs. And I remember it was like so, maybe for our age back then, it was so dark and so bold and part tragic all at the same time, because we see their struggles for the first time. And I liked it in this thing, in this audio drama, it's like that same feeling how we had from the show. Like a little nostalgia, but adding something more mature to it.
Yeah.
And it's still broke my heart.
There's emotional scars on Kimberly's emotional scars, Tommy. They never until the end of season 1 they never got back to the place that they were at before that happened to him, because there was no way, and Tommy says it, there's no way I can go back to the way things were, because like I tried to kill you. Like this is not normal.
Well, not just that, but I was almost killing Jason too, like almost.
Yeah, like and in episode 9, he's seeing a therapist because he can't. Yeah, because he has to deal with this.
That's also a reflection on Kimberly and how compassionate she is, and she's not really like looking past what he did, but wants to help him and wants him to get past that.
Yeah,
in some sort of way, like.
Yeah, that's what I did from the voicing. Like, feel like. When was last time someone broke me and stuff like that? Like trying hard to forgive that person, but I don't know. Like so much emotional. It's like, what was the last time I had these full of emotional roller coaster rides on my mind? Like bad mental emotions. So I try to feel like that way on Kimberly, like a side of Kimberly you've never seen before.
Yeah.
But still trying to be strong about it, but like try to balance it out.
And then, of course, the rest of the team comes in to help as well, as much as they can.
Yes.
Yeah, there's just a lot of heavy emotional stuff. I mean, without mentioning too much, for those who haven't finished watching season 1, it's just a lot just happened.
The finale was the oh shit! Like, because Rita warns in the episode before, so far things have kind of gone a certain way. As soon as that turns up, shit's going to get real, and you're going to have to start suffering loss and consequences to what you're doing. And they do, and they have that choice of, it's us or the world, and they have to come to that decision. They make that decision, and then they suffer the consequences from that decision. And yeah. I'm trying not to talk too much to give everybody else a chance to jump in.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, please.
No,
No,
please.
we'll go
Get the
around
most insight,
to
please.
the cast.
Just drop it.
Did you audition for the role that you have, or did you want to play somebody else at first?
I auditioned for
Everybody.
Tommy. That's it.
Oh, that's interesting.
I auditioned for Tommy, and I auditioned for Jason. and
You
Goldar.
cut out, Keith. Who did you audition for?
Sorry, I auditioned for Tommy and Jason and Goldar and Zordon, and then I got.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
it was all good.
Yeah.
I'll send you. Joey, I'll send you the audition tape one day.
Okay.
Yeah. Similar to me. I mean, with a lot of projects, I just audition for whatever is available. I mean, I auditioned for Jason, Billy. I don't think Tommy was available to audition for at the time when I auditioned for him, and I cannot remember if it was or not. But
Oh my God, you did.
No, I don't think
Tommy was my
it
man when I was growing up. Tommy was my hero.
Kimberly,
So I
how
was like,
amusing would
I'm
that
going
be?
for that.
No, did I audition for Kim? No, I didn't mean I did audition for Kimberly. No, I did not. I must have misspoke. But sorry. Yeah, but yeah, just for essentially Billy, Jason. Yeah, Jason. I think makes the actor and not the characters. Like, no, I didn't just audition for me. Yes, I did. But as for Goldar and Zordon, yes, a tenor trying to do Zordon.
Really?
Yeah, for me, actually, I was only going to audition just for the
Lucky I
villain
got them.
roles. That's all I was going to do. Like, I auditioned just for Rita and Scorpina. That's about it.
Really?
But then, yeah, that's all I did. And then
You're
Carl
so
just
good
told.
at Kimberly. Like,
Yeah, I know. So Carl said, like, I just try out for one of the Rangers too. But I didn't do Trini because I thought it'd be right for an Asian actress to voice her. So I just did Kimberly, and I just did my gullible self. And then after that, he's like, you're playing Scorpina and Kimberly. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
I didn't expect to get Kimberly. I did not expect
I didn't know
that.
you didn't audition for her. Like, your Kimberly is excellent. Like,
Thanks.
you're made for it. So yeah,
Well,
wow.
Say, but you,
Right.
Zordon, I can't believe it's you. You said Zordon, your voice. Oh my God. Every time you hear the Zordon,
Really?
I
These
wow,
people
it's like
I know,
so
they're just
godly.
like, oh, that's funny. That just sounds like this guy I'm sitting next to at work.
Yeah. So I
sounds
did
like
not
you.
expect to voice Kimberly. I did not expect to voice her. I really didn't. And I'm like, oh, I'm playing my childhood favorite one. Okay.
Yeah. Still a Ranger.
I honestly just threw my hat in the ring. Like with most of my projects, I like to audition for things that like I fit because I know where my voice can go, and like I'm not gonna audition for somebody that I don't think I'm fit for. So honestly, I literally only thought I was fit for Tommy because I just can't really picture myself voicing anybody else for some reason. I don't know, maybe a monster or something, but I don't know. Just like with hearing the cast that we have now, it's just like, yeah, no, I'm happy with this.
Yeah. Yeah. So
who does the voice of? Oh, sorry.
Yes, okay. Just so when I'm voicing Scorpina and Kimberly, I don't know. It feels like I'm like each other's twins or something, or a split personality.
Well, it didn't help that I kept writing scenes where you had to talk to yourself, that was just because of the Tommy conflict. So yeah.
Yeah, so it felt like I was like each other's twins, the good versus evil twins. That's what it felt like I was doing.
You were like the
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah, you were like the devils and the angel on Tommy's shoulder fighting for his soul at one point.
Yes.
So Katherine, do you do all of Kimberly's lines and then do Scorpina's lines separate when you're recording?
Yep, that's what I do. Yep, that's what I really do. So yes, the copy when they're both in one scene together, I'm like, okay, gotta learn to make it like they're actually having a conversation and fighting it out. So like, all right, gotta be the evil Scorpina. Okay, now I have to be the ditzy but strong, badass Kimberly. So it's like trying to add the different stuff.
I actually, in this second season, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I get to come in as
the
like
episode,
a side
they know
character.
what's happening. They've got the coin at this point. They know, but
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well,
not to know what happens. Obviously, the spoiler for what happens at the end of season 1, but something happens, and for those that know what happens, they know.
Yeah.
yeah, but I was gonna say I do get to come in as a side character. That's not Tommy because I like to help out. I don't know if I should say, but I know I got confused for somebody on the X-Men, the audio drama, playing the president. Somebody thought I was Rex, playing the character.
Oh my god, that was you.
Who does the voice of Skull? Because he nails that laugh.
That is Jason, who plays Goldar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jason's so talented. I work with him on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, I like the little thing where Bulk and Skull have a YouTube channel.
Yes. Who doesn't like Bulk and Skull? Come on, they're the comedians.
Well, that was me. I was like, okay, so Kimberly goes to Angel Grove High. I haven't done Bulk and Skull for all these episodes. I've got to fit him in as sort of a cameo.
We're going to document our harassment a fellow student to try and make up some gossip.
Well, yeah, I was like, how could they find out? Obviously, Rita's doing this sort of detective work, trying to find out who Kimberly is. She's starting to put all the pieces together. And of course, they'd go on the internet. And how would they find things? They found a video on YouTube where they're talking about you.
Fully's become internet trolls. I love it.
Yes, that was great.
I just imagine
that's what they would do. That's what they do if they were in this new generation. That's what they do right now.
I can just imagine a Bulk Scum community tab. Just saying, who do you think will win the fight? A Goldar or one pink girl?
He kind of paid for it when he pushed Tommy too far after his trauma.
Yeah.
That was
gosh.
Intense.
Gosh,
So
that was
intense.
intense. That was intense to record.
That was intense to hear it when I was hearing it.
Yeah, Connor did Bulk and it was like, oh god, like when I was adding the punching sound effects and Connor's screams, I was like, oh wow, this is more than I meant it to be. Oh.
Yeah.
My favorite
in that scene, it was I tried to make it sound like Tommy was trying to get his demons out.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well,
He's
it definitely
so
sounded
coping.
like Bulk was being beat by his demons.
God, it sounds so nasty.
Yeah, but also Tommy's still coping from what just happened to him.
Yep.
It takes time.
Yeah, because
Oh,
that was another part of it, as I tried to make it where, like, he wasn't just, even though he was programmed, he wasn't just a robot. Like, all of his dialogue was coming from, like, almost his dark side, as Joey said earlier. So he's bringing up character motivation of, like, the stuff that maybe on his subconscious he was thinking, oh, Jason's being a bit of a dick. He wants to get with Kimberly. So when he attacks Jason, he goes, by the way, she never would have been with you. Like, he's saying the things that, like, he would never dare say as his real self. But this is coming from, like, his deep, darkest side of... He's just got no filter, and he will just say the nastiest thing because he knows that's what get these people the most.
Mm-hmm. It's like the rational side of your brain's turned off, and the irrational side is turned on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really, really genius way of explaining this like mind control thing, because it doesn't go into just like you said, you were building up Rita. Like, you were starting as just this basic character, building up to the witch she would become. But like I thought it was really cool that like the mind control wasn't really magic. It was more biology than anything, which I really appreciate, and it really helped develop the story at a healthy pace.
Yeah, and it made it darker when it's like a Winter Soldier style programming, where it's like, they've got a chip in him, and then they're like flashing images in front of his face of like, these are your enemies, these are your, and then like so he gets sent back with that programming, and he doesn't know, and he's acting like his true self up until that moment the reader says now, and then he turns and does what he does, and it's like, oh crap, this went serious.
I remember the scene. You wrote a scene where Tommy goes home. And he's like feeling like so regretful for all the stuff he's done, and he's starting to like sob. but then Rita says, "Get over here," and he's like, "Yes,
that little bit of
ma'am."
lucidity where he realizes what he. Oh my gosh, knife twisting.
Also,
Yeah.
like, he was abused, really. Tommy got. You can't just let it like be. Oh, I'm okay now. No, I'm okay, but it takes time for people from this situation.
And the fact that
Like,
He was in a compromised situation and was abused. Yeah, he's a victim of a horrible thing, and yeah, it has its impact. Which is, I think it's one of the interesting things in our show is there's a consequence and an impact on each of the Rangers from the horrific things that they put through. You know, people die, fighting, killing. You know, it's like putting it into a real world situation. When you do that, it's powerful stuff in a way, you know. So, and Tommy's character has it worse in that regard.
And that's why that's what keeps me coming back to wanting to, like, getting so excited to voice Tommy again. It's not just because he's Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, the White Ranger. No, I am drawn to characters who are mentally destroyed. I don't know why. I just play them the best, and I know how to get into that kind of headspace. It's just easy for me, and that's kind of a treat that I get to play Tommy Oliver and a guy who's completely psychologically messed up.
It's the most stuff.
But it's interesting because we've watched the situations that caused that. So we've gone hand in hand with him through those situations. We understand why he's like that.
And it's a case of like, he's there talking to a therapist, but he can't say it's because of what I did, because he can't admit what he did. He can't say, I'm a Power Ranger and this is what I got. So, and at this point,
would she believe you if you did were able to tell the truth?
Yeah, and so he's talking about it in allegory. He's talking about it as like it's a gang and drugs and kind of thing, and then he uses it as sort of a a code. But I feel like at this point in season 2, that's what Jason needs the most. He needs a therapist, but like, who could he go and talk to? You know.
If I'm going to be perfectly honest, all the team needs a therapist.
Yes. And also, they're teenagers. They're like dealing
at the worst time. Yeah.
God fucking damn it.
Like teenage drama, relationships.
Didn't I have a fucking charger that works?
Saving the world.
Oh no.
Joey's going for his own trauma right now, trying to find a shard.
Oh my god, he's frozen.
Seriously, some character research.
His foe might have died, maybe. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. My only thing, and I said this on the one that we did, my only thing with it is I feel bad that I've given so much development to Tommy, Kat, and Jason. I'm trying to do more with the other guys, but then I brought in 6 new characters, and I'm trying to service them as well, and it's hard to. I'm trying to give everybody a moment, like Billy and Trini's relationship in season 2 has developed, and that's become sort of their main,
I can't wait. It's so adorable. It's so adorable.
It's become their sort of main arc, but at the same time, I want to give them their own agency and give them their own things as well. Zach has almost stepped up as sort of the support for Jason, and everybody's got their thing, but I'm trying to bring get everybody a chance to have that development and have that stuff. So that's why in season 2 I've been cycling through different combinations of the teams. Obviously, not to spoil too much, so you can get in the episode I just wrote. You get the 6 from like the movie era, so that because like that, and that's a combination of 2 different teams completely. But you get that team, so those guys get a chance to shine. Because in the white light part, the new guys weren't really in it that much, other than Kat. So yeah, it's just a case of like I write the script that I want to write, and I'm like, okay, Christ, I put a lot of that person in that scene, and I want to put more of whoever, and I've got ideas for how I want to go with a lot of the characters. It's just getting them all into the episodes and also servicing the action. I feel like, without spoiling too much, season 2 is much more character based than season 1 was. Season 1 was much more situations are happening and the Rangers have to react to it. Season 2 has been far more human stuff and character stuff and plot development, because the bad guys have taken kind of a back seat and they're slowly building up their plans. So the Rangers are sort of having their time to talk to each other and have stuff, and that's just me trying to give everybody a chance to have the spotlight on them, really.
It came to mind when I was when we were talking about Bulk and Skull and their like YouTube channel thing. I think Joey's back.
Yay.
There we
Sorry,
go.
phone died.
Yeah, we figured. We saw you marching around going, I can't find a charger. Sorry.
Do you remember in the original show when Bulk and Skull had their like detective phase where they were trying to find out?
Yeah, that was like a part of second season, right?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that was more than second season that happened. Yeah.
Imagine trying to do that with like having their YouTube channel and
Yeah.
Yes.
they like try and code all the battles and
it wouldn't be hard.
It could be a podcast.
A comic influence thing, Carl. I seem to remember them having camcorders.
Yeah, that came from, which is why I acknowledge. Yeah, that's why I acknowledge Kyle in the credits, because I got that from him.
Yeah, I mean, they did a fantastic job bringing that, adult edge. That, and I think you said that's one of those things that sort of made you think, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing that made me go.
I feel about the show, and that's really worked.
Yeah, like the Boom Comics stuff is like it's what we wanted the show to be, but because they're tied to the original continuity, they can only kind of fill in gaps and flesh things out. Whereas I'm like, okay, let's go from ground up, do that, and give it some grounding. And it's hard with Bulk and Skull because it's like they're so silly characters. How do I make them make sense in this version of the show, especially since they're not all at the same high school?
And relevant.
So
Grounding.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to, I have things I could do with that. But at the same time, it's like it's everything in season 2 that threw them off the scent was so cliche, and like it was like, oh no, this coincidence happened that they didn't find out. Whereas I feel like if you apply any sort of grounding, like I've done to the series to that, they find out within 2 seconds, like Rita did, because they're calling out each other's names in fights and things. So
right.
Yeah.
You guys have mentioned other projects. Have you been involved in other types of acting other than voice acting, or has it just been voice acting?
I guess I'll start. This actually marks my 20th year in acting, period. I got calculated. I started doing acting classes when I was like 5 years old. So a lot of my stuff has been primarily on the stage, and I actually have a degree in music with concentration voice. So not only have I done musical theater, but I've done opera as well. So I bring a lot of those experiences with me, and I'm still waiting for Carl to write a musical episode. Or what was your idea, Joey? Would the Rangers be a barbershop quintet? But
yeah, I remember.
I was
that.
in musical theater as a kid. I loved it so much.
It's fun, and what I like about voice acting, you get that same experience of being in a big production, but without picking up the sets, without having to be measured for costumes, without having to wear silly wigs, which is what I did a lot in opera. Wear silly wigs. Remember one character did for a scene from Marriage of Figaro, Don Basilio. I was having to wear this powdered wig and had to hold my hands like this. How ill-chosen was my story. Oh, we did in English for this scene.
Oh, Connor!
We did the opera. We did the opera. We did the opera actually in full the next semester. We did it in Italian, and I actually played Don Cozio and the stuttering judge. But yeah, that's been my acting
that's incredible,
stuff.
Man. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. In terms of voice acting stuff I've done, actually, been involved with a lot of Sonic projects too, which is why I've always warned Carl, hey, don't make Billy
the
too
Sonic
confident.
voice.
Otherwise, I'm going to be slipping to my Sonic voice when I read it. You're going to hear Billy one time. All right, guys, it's morphin' time. Sonic speed.
Oh man!
Brilliant,
Speaking
love
of
it.
other voices, I'm I'm a part of this Ultimate Spider-Man series on YouTube. This guy, he's turning the whole Ultimate Spider-Man series, the comic series, into a motion comic, and I play a couple different characters. I play a lot of older characters, like people with this type of voice, and I also use my regular voice a lot, and I yell a lot. But he likes to use this type of voice that I use for random side characters.
Isn't that voice
So
used for
it's
Deadpool?
fun. No, my normal voice is for Deadpool. This is the type of voice I use for my own version of Shaggy. Like, so
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Before I forget, actually, I forgot to mention that my sole IMDb credit, I voiced Roscoe in a Dungeons and Dragons animatic series called The Peace Guild. So if you guys want to check that out at some point, but I don't mean to hog the spotlight.
Yeah, definitely will.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. For me, it's like I've done like variety of things of like theater, film, voice over, and dancing. But I definitely know for theater right now, like I just did like a 1-act play festival, and it's actually streaming this weekend. So I actually play a very gullible thing called March Madness. So it's like actually appearing on streaming this weekend. I just watched it one last night, and then it's gonna have it again tonight and tomorrow and Sunday afternoon.
Where can we find this?
I have it on my Facebook. It's called like Old Library Theater. That's what it's called. It's called like the 10th annual 1-act play festival, but it's definitely on my Facebook profile. But it's definitely worked well when I was watching it last night, so I was really grateful for that. And also, I got booked for another virtual theater, which will be forming next month in March, which is some Brothers Grimm speculation, where I'm going to play the stoned, freaky witch person. So that's what I may be doing. But in voiceover, I have done like just like what Joey said. I did a motion comic, which is also a Spider-Man, but named Silk. But same as like Kimberly, like the cutesy, adorable, which I've been playing lots of cutesy, adorable, badass girls, I would have to say, and villainous, seductive roles.
Cutesy, adorable,
I don't
and
know
badass.
why. So I've been playing those kind of type of roles. But yeah,
Have I accidentally typecasted you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
it's the Power Rangers curse.
No. It's like way before Power Rangers, but way before I did that. So, but yes, I've done like variety of things. But I actually had played like mostly character roles, like in theater, back in my past time. So lots of like old lady roles. So I had those in the past. But it's been a lot. It's a lot and stuff like that, and dancing, lots of dance groups, things like that. So I've done a lot. So a lot of big listings, but so far 1-act play festival is definitely out this weekend. And I'm very happy how it came out.
What about you, Keith?
I mean, I haven't really done a lot of acting since I was younger. When I was young, it was my dream to be an actor. I did full plays, Shakespeare, but I left it because I had one of those like teachers that thought they were being kind of like on the line, honest, clever, told me I would never make it as an actor. I wasn't very good looking. And I might get a few jobs in adverts or something, but nothing else. And when you're young and impressionable, you take that kind of stuff on board. So I abandoned that dream. That also happened with being a concept that is actually current profession. So the moral of the story is don't listen to people that failed in careers and try and tell you won't make it. So yeah, I listened to the X-Men audio drama for many years. Always been a huge fan of audio drama, and when I saw Carl was coming back with Power Rangers one of the positions, I just let Carl get involved. Carl Dutton's audio dramas because they were my favourite ones to listen to, and luckily I managed to have a role. Yeah, acting is something I've always loved.
Well, I can say I just edited the scene where your angels exit from the X-Men show, and you're really good in that. So
nice,
very much.
Yes. Not just Zordon, but Angel. That's a great kind of.
Oh yeah, Keith, you're a natural as Warren.
I'll say this: like the original dude was obviously that's the base of the voice because he was.
But yeah,
he was the guy who played him in.
Warren.
Yeah, like he was the guy. Robert played him in season 1, and obviously his voice was the base. But I feel like acting wise, you're probably better.
That's very, very sweet. Not true, but it's very sweet. But yeah, I mean, obviously, he was inspiration and the base of the voice.
Connor mentioned his musical theater experience. I did. I was in a youth theater group when I was like getting into early junior high, and it was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
And
theater is always fun.
Yeah.
I wish we could do it more. Even before COVID, after I got out of high school, the only productions I've been doing were like stuff I did with a university, and then after that, well, COVID hit, so I couldn't really go out and audition for more stuff. But some actually my fun theater like roles actually happened not inside a theater, but in an amusement park. Actually, I've been working at King's Dominion for a little while before all this happened, and my first job with them was playing this these characters called Belschnickels. They're like German Santa Claus type characters for their first ever Winterfest, actually. So I'm an original cast of something. Well, and this as well, but you know what I mean.
But that's what's interesting
of original cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, Carl. I play my president voice was inspired by a video game that I got to be a part of. Where I played a president. His name was President Ray Gun. It was for this video game called Hyper Parasite. And President Ray Gun sounds like this. I didn't want to go like that for this president because this one's more like Nixon. So
yeah,
I just wanted to throw that out there. Check out Hyper Parasite if you ever find it.
It was also like because the original president from season 1 was played by Rex, but at that point, like Rex had loads of lines as Kaku and he had loads of lines as Mr. Hart. So I was like, I don't want to give him, 3 huge parts. So I guess in our universe, the 2020 election happened as well, and you got voted in. So it makes makes sense that a more hardline president got voted in, given what's happening in the series. So.
Hey.
I got to check the video game out. I didn't realize that one of my castmates has been in a Switch game.
It's on PlayStation 4, Xbox 3, or Xbox One, Switch, all that. Yeah, I announced some of the levels, like I'll be like the outskirts, or like, and I'll say like some hit combos like slaughter. It's fun. It was a fun little thing.
Has really fun. Well, it's been fun doing this as well. This whole series in general, and not just this podcast, but this whole series in general has been a lot of fun for me. The thing what I was trying to say earlier, one of my favorite things I sent him was a literal gag reel. Remember that, Carl?
Yeah.
So there's one scene.
Something that Kat just had to do for the last episode.
Oh god.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I won't spoil, but yes. I think you're talking about the ending, right? But I won't spoil. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I always tell this story associated with it. When I played for my fraternity brothers, some of them got nauseous.
Yeah, I had that
Really?
experience when I edited both you and Kat throwing up last episode. 'Cause I added in like all the sound effects and stuff, and I was like,
Oh,
that actually
God.
sounds too real.
Actually, after that, then I started making I think after I did that, then I got myself coughing a lot.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Causing my own to cough so much. Oh, great. I'm causing myself to get sick or something
Oh no.
for making it look like that. I had that happen before, and I go, oh, damn, I just made myself cough like crazy. Oh, damn it.
When I recorded my death scene for episode 12, I had a coughing fit.
Spoilers!
I mean, we said we watched season 1,
Yeah,
so
That's
And
true.
and
to be fair, in the description of season 2, episode 1, it says Tommy's dead. So, like, anybody.
Yeah. I think it's no knowledge that Tommy's dead at this point. So, yeah, it was a lot of gurgling, a lot of, you know, I had to cough it out.
Yeah, it's like you want to make it real, but then, oh, oops, what did I do? What did I do to myself? What did I do? Okay, I need to go
I
back
wanted to
again.
give Carl as much to work with as he could.
Yeah, same with
Just
me. Trying
so
to
he
make
could
it
take it
realistic
apart.
as-
Yep.
Do you guys have any methods so you don't like strain your voice? Like,
No.
Oh yeah, I do. I actually methods. Well,
Just
not
go
really
for it, and you
method.
can heal tomorrow. You know, you can heal tomorrow.
Yeah.
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 Well, for me, actually, I
With
do a
the
lot of
performance, you
vocal
can.
warm-ups before I record. I do a lot of vocal warm-ups when I record.
Oh,
So,
do you?
Yeah, but
Yep.
even before I got
You-
here, I was warming up too to warm myself up to talk.
I
For me,
want
my thing
myself
is-
to go past the wine, if that counts.
For me, my only thing I do is I save all the yelling and stuff
Okay.
toward the end.
Yeah.
So that-
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do the
Yeah,
strange.
that's
Yeah.
one thing of like Connor's one of them. Every episode they'll send me like a battle reel or like another set clip of the morph, and like I've got shitloads of them, you know. But you know, it helps to have loads, you know.
I keep on hearing you repeat them. That's why I kept on sending new ones. So I was like, "Oh, we're starting to repeat. Let's send you a new one for each episode now."
Do you want to know it? Do you want to know why that might be it? Because I've got when the Rangers are just fighting putties, I am not editing that every single goddamn time. So I've literally got like an MP3 called Rangers versus Putties. And it's got all the layers of all the Rangers and the putty sound effects and the hitting sound effects, and I just put that under everything. So like unless it's a new fight, that's what you'll hear is the background. Yeah. But then obviously when it comes to the forefront, I'll use the new stuff where it's like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've stopped doing some of those battle reels because there's not I've noticed you started putting a lot of those lines in the script themselves. So like, okay, here we go. So, but yeah,
because sometimes like you can put in there like they make this sort of sound, but what that sort of sound is different. Like because I'm not there in person to explain it. When you read the script, you might read it differently or make your version of what that sounds like may be different to what my version of what that sounds like. So like sometimes I have to write in brackets sarcastically because otherwise it just wouldn't come through in words.
Mm-hmm.
So there's occasional times where I have to be like,
That's
okay,
normal with
Joey.
the script, I think.
Yeah, like I think like with like Joey, there was occasional times where I literally wrote here, see here. I want to do the Tommy signature grunts here because if I just
The
wrote
key
Tommy kick, yeah. If I just wrote like him, and if I just wrote fighting kick, it could be anything, you know.
Oh, you're so lucky I knew how to do that key up.
It's a signature sound. It's important.
Yeah.
I still find it funny that when they brought Tommy back for I don't know if it's true or not, but they brought Tommy back for Den of Thunder. Disney asked him to stop cursing so much when he fights.
Oh man,
What?
He
Say that
probably
again.
does, but he's all about the Lord,
No, they
man.
no,
he
they
just didn't tap.
thought his grunts were swearing. I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
You could be like Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, where he just goes like pew, 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 every time he
Yeah.
fires a gun.
I think I
But-
saw a thing from like behind the scenes for The Princess Bride, and when they were I think when Inigo is fighting the Count in their like last big battle, and who played Count Rugen? But anyway, he's going as they're fighting, and they're like, "Hey, we'll add the sword effects later."
Yeah. I think that happened with Ewan McGregor when he played Obi-Wan for the first time. Well, he could stop making the lightsaber noises. We love it, but we will add that later. Don't worry.
Yeah. We got to realize a lot of these people that are going to this stuff, first of them, people with original Star Wars, nobody knew what it was. Now doing the prequels, people going in and it's like, oh, we love it. Because
They're
people
all
like grew up
fans.
watching
They all
it.
love it.
Yeah, I feel like a similar thing with us when our counterparts, our live action counterparts, first Civ series, it wasn't a thing. We're lucky. We're going in and we know these characters and we are fans of it, and we can kind of add our own footprint to this legacy, and that's really what this is, fan or otherwise. I still consider us part of the Morphin legacy.
Yeah, that's really.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like
I think this is something the fans want to hear. You know.
Yeah, I feel like if you want a version of I don't think enough people know about it, but just to sell the series, I think if you want a version of the original Mighty Morphin team taken more seriously, more on the line with a modern superhero movie, and you want it done in long form, but you also get the they said the thing element. That's exactly what the series is.
Yeah,
I will go through and have them do all the stuff to add all this backstory, but I still have Rita say make my monster grow. I still have it's morphing time. I still have all the things, but they,
the first time I listened and the first time they fight the putties, I was waiting for them to go the putty sound, but then I'm like, you know what, that would be kind of ridiculous for the tone. So
same reason, like why would Zed have his own putties with a self-destructing Zed? That's just no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although maybe I don't remember right, but I have yet to hear Rita here. I've got a headache.
yeah,
I haven't. No, not yet.
I think the best way to go about that is to play it subtle. Just have her be like, I have a headache.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you
Although
expect her to blow up, but
I mean, in the last couple of episodes, she's kind of sounded like I put a lot of like Excalibur style, like an Al-Nasrak sort of spells and stuff in there. So she kind of sounds like the Undertaker from back in the day.
Yeah. I do say I think it was the latest episode we released. I definitely enjoyed saying to Morphin Time.
Yes.
Yes.
I try and give everybody a chance where they get to step up as the leader, and it's like, well, these are all new to it. So Billy's the oldest one there. Yeah,
it's Morphin Time.
Well, it's like that for Billy and other shows, like because then he just is there just for the command center and not being as a ranger.
Yeah,
just like helping out, like when they go out fighting, and he's there to help the command center, like technology with Alpha and Zordon.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that will happen in this one. I'm curious.
Do you have any other questions there, or?
Let me see. Just kind of like walking us through the whole production process. I've always been curious about like what goes.
I do. I believe this has a share screen mode, right?
Yeah.
I could possibly do that. 2 seconds. Let me see. This will work. Stream on, allowed to see this here. Yeah. Oh, hang on. How's that worked? Am I sharing my screen?
Hold on.
I think she has to allow it first. I've done one of these streams.
Oh, I think you have to switch.
Oh yeah. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh, what's
Oh,
happening?
whoa.
Okay, right. So I'll show you. I'm using a very old version of Mixcraft. I'll let you know that because it's what I got used to, and the new version's confused me. Right. So
I use that too.
if I open up, so basically what I've got here is I'll sort everything into folders. So I've got my tribes here, audio dramas. I got the X-Men one. I got Power Rangers, and then I've got every character.
I don't think we see
that-
what's going on.
Can you not see the writing?
No.
Is it
Yeah, we don't see it. What's on the screen?
There it is.
See that one?
Hang on.
Whoa.
Is it showing? Do I have to set it to be? Hang on. Let me see if I can.
I think you have to set it to share the program.
Oh yeah, hang
Yeah.
on 2 seconds.
Like it gives you options.
Entire screen. That's what I want. Let's try that.
All right, let's see.
Right, has that worked? Can you see?
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
See it.
so I've got here audio dramas, and I've got my folders here. I got X-Men, I got Power Rangers. The Power Rangers one, I've got everybody, all the characters sorted into how it is. I've got scenes and clips and the green screen stuff I use for the opening and all that kind of stuff. So when I'm making an episode, let me bring up one for Rangers because they're all X-Men ones. So here we go. I've got episode 11, scene 1. So load this up. If it'll do it in a timely fashion. It looks like this is quite a big scene because it's taking its time finding all the files. But yeah, this is like a 2008 version of Mixcraft, just because this is what I originally started editing with, so it was right. So yeah, something like this where it's like a dialogue scene won't have as much. Oh, here we go. Here's all the Rangers. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll put in like here like a background thing, and then we got like the music here, which is the Ron Westman thing, and then at the top I'll have like the narrator. So
so it really is layers.
Yeah, like one of the main things I do to make it so that every sounds the same thing is I use this program, which is called Audition. So if I import somebody, say if they've recorded on a quite noisy background, what I'll do is I'll bring.
Or occasionally have an annoying fan appear in the background.
Yeah. Or just in general, a lot of people. So you can see here from Cat's take, it's got a lot of like all this fuzziness around here.
And
then these,
look at that
fuzziness. So like these sharp bits of the voice on the picture. So if I play it here, so it'll say that, and then what I'll do, you can't really hear it, but then I'll do this, which is like a noise reduction thing, or I can do denoise, heavy noise reduction, apply, and that's got rid of a lot of that stuff. Or if that's making it sound too like metallic, what I'll do is I will capture all, and I go to this thing, which is noise reduction process, apply, do it a couple of times.
Oh,
that
you
would
could
have
do
got
some production tutorials and put them on Gumroad.
Yeah.
Wow, you're really giving us a little behind the scenes here, Carl. You're really giving us.
Yeah.
I'm
Great.
going
I'm gonna have to watch this again so I can improve my own stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's looking at like something like a fight scene or something. It will be extremely busy. Like if I wrote, let's see what we got. Final mix, fighting bed. Oh, fighting bed. That'll be a thingy one. Scene 3, final part. Let's try episode 11, scene 3. I think that's quite a busy one. I could tell.
Froze up.
Oh gosh, he froze.
Oh boy. It's not that, but also Zoom freezing people.
Oh gosh.
What's happening?
I think he froze up. Maybe his connection was
You broke the bandwidth. It's just
Yeah.
too fucking awesome, and like you couldn't handle it.
Maybe someone's calling him on the phone.
Yeah, we'll let him know. I'll send him a message. In the meantime, Carrie, do you have any other questions for the cast?
Not really. We'll see if
Not really.
Matt has anything. Uh-oh. Lost him completely.
Well, he's gonna come back and
I was gonna say I have to get hopping off here because my fiance is about to go into work and I need to take care of some stuff around the house. But I just wanted to leave you guys with stay tuned for episode 3 and 4 of season 2. I'm trying to remember where we're at.
I think episode 3 was already released.
I think 3 was the
before.
most recent one.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And soon will be
So
episode 4.
Stay tuned for episode 4. Got a lot of cool things coming. For the people who are already watching season 2, you already know there's a certain Blue Ranger that is a special cast member to me. So look out for him and stay tuned. I'll see you guys.
Thank you. I actually have a question from Porter Productions. Do you do any post-processing on your files before sending to Carl? So I think I'm the only one that actually does just because I got in the habit of it. And,
I do too.
Yeah. I'm not feeling, but yeah. I guess I don't feel alone more. Most of us send it raw. I do noise reduction. I used to do much more equalization, but I tone it down a little bit. So yeah, I have like a processing macro that I do with a lot of my auditions and clients who prefer me to do it. I have this conversation with Carl's when I realized, hey, when I realized most people that are similar stuff in RAW is like, hey, should I switch to that? And he said, no, you're good. So I send in process and I think a lot of the others send it in RAW except for like Joey and Katherine, I believe.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, leave some comments. Comment, watch the series too. Glad you guys liked the show. I'm glad I got to be on this today.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
All right. See you guys. I'll talk to the rest of you in the chat sometime.
All right.
Take care, Joey.
Take care.
Speak later, bro. Take it easy, man.
Carl's back.
Bye,
Yeah.
Joey.
Bye.
Sorry. I didn't realize my Ethernet cable. I was literally kept on talking, and because I wasn't on the screen, I didn't realize that I wasn't on. At what point did I drop out?
Something about a fight scene.
Okay, yeah. I brought up the fight scene just to show you how busy that was, but you get the idea. It's all sort of layered, and then I add the sound effects in underneath. And I've
got one.
You have another How much input do you have on your characters?
A lot. I definitely put those things a lot, like how to make a complexity on my Scorpina and Kimberly as much as something, not just like voicing it out, but someone you can relate to and get to know.
I think what he's asking is like, do you guys tell me what you want me to do with your characters? Is what he's asking.
Oh, really? I thought it was something else. Oops.
Yeah. So in terms of that, we definitely do make suggestions. I keep Carl in check to make sure my Rangers lines are relatively clean because hey, I'm gonna be leading a church someday, hopefully.
That's awesome.
Same thing for me. Same thing for me. Like to make sure if mine is clean and clear, or is there some words to work on and things like that. Just making sure if I need to do some retakes.
Yeah. Well, I think I meant for language. Like
Kat's not got a problem with that. At one point I wrote "F my life" and it came back and she said the whole word. So
I remember.
I had to be like, no, let's not do that.
Whereas me,
Kat, put it down, Kat.
Where me, my character's like, holy cow!
Yeah. I had a lot of fun doing that. What's he saying? Puppetry. Do you do any post processing on your files? Funny. Yeah, when people send them to me, I showed you that audition thing. I add all the filters to take out all the ambient noise or the background noise. It's not just like cars or whatever, but more so like just the white noise. Because if I keep that in, then you can hear when it changes to somebody else's track. And as you saw, I cut them all up. So like it sounded like somebody was on a walkie-talkie if I didn't do that. So it just makes it all sound like you're in the same room, and it helps for like a command center scene. What I'll do is I'll add reverb to every track that's like the same reverb vocal ambient sound effect, but I won't add it to the narrator because otherwise the narrator would have that reverb, so then it sounds like you're all in the same room when you're in the command center, and obviously add that sound bed underneath of like the...
Oh, do you put like a room tone behind everything? Is that like
it depends on the scene. I think sometimes, like, especially if there's some clicks and pops in the recordings, I try and add more background stuff to cover that up. Like if somebody's accidentally like popped the microphone or something, and I don't want to be like, oh, that's a really good take, I don't want to get them to redo it, I'll add a grandfather clock or something in the background that'll cover it up. But I like to do that a lot anyway, because I feel like not only but like it'll like make it so that it sounds like everybody's in the same. Like obviously in battles and stuff, you always want to have something going on so that the immersion stays there. Like the command center, I have a track called Command Center, which is the hum. It's kind of like in Star Trek.
I guess Declan's music has always been a great kind of like.
How do you get like the like the show specific, like the Dragon Dagger, and like how do you get those sound effects without them like nailing you for copyright?
Well, it's a thing of the same reason as me using the IP. It's a case of I'm not making money from it. I found a website online that has a lot of the original sound effects. There are some where like I'll take a better version of it. Like if somebody done like with the dragon flute in the first episode, I had the whole song from the Sentai rather than just the short I had the whole song bit. And that came from a version on YouTube. But when I do that, I obviously reach out to the person and make sure they're okay with it. Like for the show, obviously, there's the two versions of the theme that I generally use a lot. There's the opening version, which is our own original cover of the song, which was done by Rex, who plays Wolverine in the X-Men series, and he plays Mr. Hart in this series. He has done an amazing job. Yeah, him and his wife did that opening version of the song, which is amazing. And then Objective Guitarist, a YouTuber, one of the most popular covers. I reached out to him and said, "Can I use your instrumental version as a backing track?" And he said that. But every other part of music, as we were talking about earlier on the tribute, every other part of music from the show was Declan. Every time you heard a score or a battle sound or anything that wasn't from the original show, like Lord Zed's songs from the Ron Wasserman thing, and there's a couple of occasions I'll sprinkle in a Ron Wasserman theme, but the original music in the show was all Declan, like with X-Men.
Yeah.
I know. I was listening to it. Like I said, I was driving around a lot, and when the theme song plays and I start dancing in the car, I caught giving me like the side eye, like, what is this lady doing?
Yeah, there's a lot of that where like it's the same thing with the X-Men show. Is I'm a fan first and foremost, so I know if I'm listening back to it and going fuck yes, then I know that other people will. So I'm like, I know that if I have them say it's morphing time and it plays the guitar riff as they're all saying the thing and they're calling the Zords and then do the sound effects, and you get that nostalgia, but then also that
you feel that pump. That's
yeah.
It's like
but then it also helps that you've got the
heat transformation thing.
Yeah,
you feel it. You're excited when it happens.
Yeah, like I think like it took till like episode 3 until they actually said it's morphing time and did the whole thing in order as it is in the show. But like when I finally got to that, I was like, yeah, because it was cool to do that. But at the same time, because I've done the work throughout the episode to build up the characters, and the situation they're going into, you're even more pumped because you're like, not only am I hearing this awesome thing, but they're also going into this amazing fight outside the command center or something like, or some big situation that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't listen to it at work. Otherwise, I'd be sitting at my desk just going, yee!
I know. When I do it, I listen to it when I'm working out. I listen to it like if I'm doing some chores or like when I'm working out and stuff like that. Like if I'm going out for a run and I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh boy, trying to focus running, but trying to listen to the audio drama at the same time on the Power Rangers. But when something goes, oh my goodness, on a big shocking moment.
Well, put it this way: I must listen to the things 100 times when I'm editing them to get them to the point that they're at, and I still listen back to them and enjoy them. So if I can do that, then I feel like other people will, because I'm, like I say, I'm a fan first and foremost, and I feel like the show is I'm trying to get that people who that age range of people who grew up Power Rangers but like want something a little bit more from it.
Yeah, balancing the nostalgia with your own take on it, on the story.
Yeah, and my only real regret is my only real regret with the show is like I said, I didn't want to get into a status quo of Rita sends down monster or Zed sends down a monster and they have to keep defeating it. I feel like a little bit I never had a chance to really settle into a status quo with the show for that reason. Like, I feel like the Ultra Zorb was formed once before it was destroyed. But so I kind of regret that they didn't have more time to live in the status quo. But at the same time, I feel like all the building blocks built up to that, and it makes sense for it to be the ultimate weapon for them to use, which is what they finally used to beat Serpentera, and then it no longer has a purpose in the story,
Mm-hmm. I could just geek out about it all day.
Yeah.
I am a supreme fangirl. And I think I was telling Carl before everybody jumped on, I had tweeted, what did I say? It would blow my mind if Jason David Frank, Amy Jo Johnson, and David Yost maybe showed up in the chat for this show.
Oh, yeah, that would be starstruck. Oh, God, I'd be so starstruck.
That would have been awesome.
Once I remember Amy Jo Johnson when she was after Power Rangers, and she was in the show Felicity. I remember.
Oh,
she had like a proper career.
Yeah, I know. I think people called her. She was like the better actress out of any of the actors. That's what I kept hearing about and stuff like that. But no, I remember seeing her in Felicity, and she just played a different type of person, not like the very gullible Valley girl from the Power Rangers. She played a completely different.
I feel
person.
like that's not. I mean, compared to some of the actors in Power Rangers, that's not saying much. But I think her and Tommy especially, and Billy and a couple of the others stood above the rest, and I think that's why people, not only just because of the writing but because of the acting, I think people have always preferred Jason over Rocky for that exact reason, because I think Austin St. John was a better actor.
Wait, they prefer Jason than Rocky, right?
Yeah, definitely. Rocky's just kind of there to be stand-in Red Ranger because Tommy's taken over now, sort of thing.
To me, it's amazing to see how
who
many
played Adam in the show in the original show.
Johnny Young Adam.
He's everywhere. Johnny Ash.
Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch.
He's
He did
everywhere.
a lot of voice acting, didn't he? He did a lot of like dubbed anime.
Yes, I never seen too much of his stuff on anime, but heard he's very big on mostly a lot of mech anime. I noticed a lot of mech animes. On his resume.
Thing with him is like, and him is another voice actor, Bryce Papenbrook, whose father actually is either his father or his uncle. I can't remember now. I think it was his father actually. Bob Papenbrook did a lot of stuff for Power Rangers. But with him and Bryce, have that voice where if you hear him, you hear him. They use essentially the same voice for almost every character. No knock on them, it works. So, but it's funny how many people got for start with Power Rangers. I'd say Austin St. John, Amy Jo Johnson. Arguably, I haven't heard much for stuff before Power Rangers. Johnny Young Bosch, and I'd even say Walter Emmanuel Jones. I mean, he was in a couple other things as well. I think one. It
doesn't help though that like
Jason David Frank had a cameo on Family Matters.
Oh really?
Yeah,
he was in
he did.
Gang of Bullies.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't help that the original show was a non-union show, and if you look into the whole situation, when you look into the whole thing of why those actors got fired and things. I think that show had a terrible production history, and they were doing like 20-hour days and not getting paid. Like Saban was becoming a millionaire, and he was not paying them enough, and it was not fun for the actors, other than the experience of being on the hit show.
Yeah, I remember they actually had to go and buy their own toys, but it's funny though. Another thing that was funny is when he knew prop, they just went to Walmart and got it. Like they needed new Morpher, all they did was just go to Walmart and get it
because they kept breaking the originals. Yeah.
And I know David Yost has come out about feeling, uncomfortable about coming out as gay on the show, and he felt like he was getting.
Oh yeah, I also loved him.
He's talked a lot about that.
Yeah, right now I'm just looking up everything. Yeah. Right now I'm just looking up everything with Johnny Young. Bosch has voiced it. He's done like a lot of stuff, like 380 credits. So lots of
he's prolific.
Yeah, guys gotta work. It's been 20 years and the guy's gotta work.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about Amy Jo Johnson being like having a proper career, but Johnny Young Bosch, I feel like arguably he's had the most success out of that little group of arrangers.
Yeah.
Trying to look up. Definitely he's known to be in the anime Code Geass, the main star guy. He's known for that now. He's really more big on that one. And he's done a lot of anime tech, but I think he was just in Akira as Kaneda. He's done a lot. He's done a lot.
What? Who was that? I missed that bit.
He played first I said he was in Code Geass as the main star of LaRouche, and he also voiced the classic Akira as Kaneda.
Yeah, wow, amazing.
Yeah, and also some Bleach Ichigo Kurizaki / Hollow.
Yeah, Ichigo. I think it's Ichigo Kurosaki, I believe. I'd have to remember look at his name again.
Yeah,
who are we talking about? Did Leonardo in Ninja Turtles or someone else?
Badass things. Everything's like Power Rangers, lots of mecha, so it's like it hasn't lost its touch to being anime mega.
Right, sure, of course, yeah.
Damn, Jesus, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff to say.
All good stuff.
Is there anything you wanted to ask us before we just to kind of?
I have all my questions. Last call for questions from the chat.
Yeah.
If anyone has anyone else we want to know about us, about the show, just be sure to put in the chat and we'll answer it best we can.
Yeah.
Answer the one question that everybody has, that everybody always sends me for every goddamn show. The next episode is coming very soon. That's the most common episode. I'm currently working a lot, so I'm editing an X-Men episode at the minute. But right after that, next week or so, I'm going to start editing the next Rangers. So I just need a couple more lines, Connor being one of them, and for
Connor. Bad Connor.
I have my own projects too. I've been editing mine, but I'll definitely get to them.
Carl, who's once ahead? Huh?
You accidentally Keith accidentally recorded episode 5 before he recorded episode 4. Good news, you've recorded an episode ahead. The bad news is you've recorded. Once I've got
till I recorded the wrong episode.
But you were on fire. You did like 3 episodes in a day for X-Men, and then you did 2 Ranger episodes. So you're well ahead.
Love it, Carl. That's why. Fucking love it.
Absolutely. The next episode hopefully will be within a couple of weeks. I'll get X-Men out, then I'll get onto that one. And I will say now, for people who are waiting on pins and needles for the combination, there isn't like an epic White Ranger action scene in part 2, even though it's called White Light, but there is one in episode 5. But the episode 4 is much more about dealing with the human side and the character side of Tommy being back.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. But oh boy, episode 5. Oh boy. I sorry, it was like another thing interesting about voice acting is me trying to show how the good intimacy with Tommy, like the romantic stuff from season 1 and stuff like that. Is trying like how to make it intimacy about between Tommy and Kimberly. Like trying to imagine like what would their kissing be like? Trying to imagine them like how would you really act?
Because you don't want to like as much as you want people to be immersed. I don't want to add too realistic sound effects in there because it'd be like, oh, weird. That's weird. You know.
Yeah, but try to imagine it, not just saying the line, just like imagining it while you're voicing it.
I did think it was cute when Trini was calling her Zord Kitty Saurus.
I know.
Yeah.
That came from
lovely touch of writing.
Now I'm
that
thinking
came from the
Kitty
Boom
Saurus.
comics. That was Ryan Parrott came with that. That was the one thing I took. That and Arrival Day were my two things I took from the comics full wholesale. Just I thought I liked that. That was a fun little thing of like that's what a teenage girl would do sort of thing. And I then applied that to like the Megazord and things like it wouldn't be called the Megazord, that's stupid. But like the kids would call it the Megazord and the kids would call it an Ultrazord, and it kind of
now I think of Kitty Saurus every time I see that Zord. Now I just think of Kitty Saurus.
Kitty Saurus.
Now I see every time now I go, oh, Kitty Saurus.
But what I liked about the way you wrote Billy is I always like doing this is when he gets to fanboy, like there's this serious like, okay, I know we're in a life and death situation, but isn't this giant robot so cool? Like it reminds me of like from Mega's XLR. Just smarter.
Yeah. It's like, wait, are we riding Titanus like a chair? Yeah, okay, yes we are.
That's so awesome!
God love being able to geek out in your part when you're actually geeking out, probably.
Well,
absolutely.
The audio drama and the
we're all geeking out every day. That's how we live.
Yes.
Voiceover is just one big geeking out session, unless you're unless you're reading for commercials. Ben's like, okay, let's get this over with.
Play sign for like nerds, so it's great.
Fighting our nerd side.
Yep.
I remember, I'm also a big Doctor Who fan.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
So, I started with watching David Tennant, and he grew up as a fan of the show. So then being able to play the show, I think he said in an interview, he only wanted to do it for a couple of years. Otherwise, they would never get him to leave, and he'd be doing it until he was 85.
Oh my God!
Gosh.
But it's interesting, like who worked.
And he was a fanboy.
So obviously I'm influenced by David, the original voice of Zordon, but the real voices that I look at the character of Zordon when I do it, James Avery and James Earl Jones, like those deep kind of projecting voices of like their authority in their voice, and bring that character. So,
I kind of caught when I was first listening, I caught like a James Earl Jones style from. Like that's what I thought it was very similar to with Zordon's voice.
Oh, yeah. That's great that you picked up on that. Yeah, like his voice, for example, for Darth Vader, there's a lot of depth. This evil tone, obviously, in the Darth Vader character, and the Sulphur Doom character from Vader. Like. In a way, I feel a part of that with this Zordon, this version of Zordon, because it's a bit more realistic and a bit more grounded. There's the realism of sending teenagers into war for your own personal battle. So, like, there's all that thing fun. Anyway, as you were.
But no, I think it's interesting. So I'm a. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's interesting that you bring up your vocal inspirations for Zordon, because I think a lot of us are tempted to emulate the original actors and actresses, and I feel like a lot of it is that as well. But I feel there's a lot of different sources. So, for example, I obviously pull on my experience with Sonic voices sometimes, just inadvertently, but also a little bit of like Bryce Papenbrook's like just teen voice that he uses for every teenager he voices. I used to pull that in a little bit into Billy, and it's just everywhere. I mean, sometimes it's just me. I think that's I think Carl said this once in our I've seen thing. A lot of our voices are close to our characters, our natural voices are just close to it. And of course, our alpha is like, speak for yourself. And 95 minutes, babu. I'm happy it's now, unfortunately, but it's fine. But it's just interesting how much of yourself you put in these characters, because when we're recording these, you're in a booth for like at least upwards of an hour or two, just recording these lines and just really get into that headspace and really trying to embody this character and do it justice, because these are characters that people grew up with, and even though cynically we might think, oh, these just guys toys, as fans, these guys have heart, these guys have like arcs, and I feel like, and again, I think I mentioned before, I feel like we're part of that legacy now as well. I didn't bring this up because I just forgot to mention, but actually Jason Font, the Red Time Force Ranger, actually liked a post I did promoting this. I think it was like maybe it was episode 2 of season 1 when we were just getting started, and I think it was
him and the guy who plays Rocky.
Steve Cardenas. He liked the post, and for me, that really solidified that okay, this official or not, we're part of Power Rangers family.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how much Joey sounds like Tommy. Who plays Jason on your show? What's his name?
That's Nick Erickson. He's really good. Yeah.
Very good at. You would almost think that was Austin St. John.
Very good.
Just as like an actor, like I've given him some
character, but the performance that he gives every fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's got the voice.
I've given him some like. Yeah, I've given him some really hard stuff, and he's
not there, man.
Every time.
Yes.
Fucking brilliant.
And to think I was just watching. And to think I was watching something I directed him in years ago, like almost a decade ago. He actually voiced Trunks for me in a Dragon Ball Z fan-dub years ago. So for me, it's like it's kind of once I realized. I think it was like when we were getting sometimes season 1 when I realized, wait, this is the same guy. That voiced Trunks and Frieza and Cooler for me, like all those years ago. I was like, and to see how much he's developed as an actor since then, and then to watch that now, it's just amazing.
He's really good. I like his stuff for the 2 finale episodes was like every time he sends me a line back, and I'm like, wow, you just added so much more to that. But then those 2 episodes, it was like I got it back, and I was like, wow, this is making me choke up. And I wrote the thing. You know? I did this.
Yes, if you guys watching have not just have Kleenex on hand when you get to the end of season 1, because I was crying.
Oh God, that was hard for me. I was like working out, and I was like, okay, now I'm starting to cry. Oh God, I'm working out, and I'm getting tears while I'm hearing it on the finale.
I was on my way to work, and I'm like, I can't go into work all puffy-eyed.
I know, that's the hard part. Like, you want to cry.
I made that mistake listening to the Hunger Games audiobook.
Really?
At my old job, I got to the part where Rue died, and I'm just tears. And I walk into work all puffy-eyed, and I immediately started yelling at my friend, "You made me read this stupid book."
I think that's the rule. Like, don't read something that'll make you cry before you go to work.
Yeah.
That's the rule should be now. Or listening to it, like watch or hear. Don't cry before you go to work. Do it after work.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to get to? Can we wrap it up here? Or?
If there's no more questions from the chat, I guess we'll close it out. I have, I think, everybody's Twitter handle at least in the description, and I have a link to the YouTube page, so you guys can listen on there. It's also on iTunes, and I think I found it on Spotify as well.
Yeah, it's on Spotify,
Nice.
It's on Stitcher, it's on all those things.
Okay.
X-Men
So
and
whatever
Power Rangers,
podcasting app you use, you can find it. Just look for Power Rangers audio drama.
Yeah, and if you guys ever enjoy the show, and especially if you enjoyed the X-Men show and the show, I wanted to send a message, not to bring down the mood. I got a message over the past couple of days from Declan's dad, who would like to express his thanks for everybody's messages on the Facebook group and stuff. Just saying, his exact words were, it means a lot to us, and it helps a bit that so many people loved his work. So,
yeah. I know for messaging him, just tell me I'm keeping his family in my prayers, and it's a very tough situation. So and I'm praying for all of us, just as we continue going forward, just to remember the legacy of his work for us, and just remember that, just keep pushing forward, and just remember his contribution to this series. Just
yeah, like, and if you want to celebrate it, I've put up like a thing where I speak about the whole thing, and then it goes into like a mix of all of his best stuff that he did for me, and there's some amazing stuff in there. His Batman theme for Long Halloween was fantastic. The stuff he did for the X-Men series through the years, and the amount of covers of the 90s animated series theme that he did, and how they're so different. There's the original one that's sort of very close to the 90s, and then there's the one where it's like the Dark Phoenix, where it's like operatic fire, and then the final one for Days of Future Past, which unfortunately was his last score for us. Just incredible talent. And to know that he was only 21, it's absolutely insane, which means, the majority of his work was when he was 15, 16, which is mind-blowingly good. And I can only imagine of how good he would have been had he not had to deal with what he dealt with in his last few days. The fact that he felt like he couldn't get out of that situation, and it's nothing to do with any of this. I know a couple of people reached out to me and said, it sounds like you're saying on the episode, if I'd given him more work, it would have, but that wasn't what I meant. I even correct myself on the show when I say that, like, I was probably, of the things in his mind, I was number 10,000. Like, I know that, but I can't help but feel like if I hadn't have taken that 3-year break, how much more great stuff we could have done together. And all I can do is honor him by continuing to use his stuff going forward.
And just to follow onto that quickly, if that's okay. Absolutely. Like, his music is absolutely incredible. Great to Carl for that episode podcast. If you get a chance to really listen to the music by itself without the scenes playing over the top, when you do that.
Really, you might want to lean forward a bit. You're cutting out quite a bit.
Sorry, mate. When you do that, you can really appreciate how incredibly amazing the music was. Enjoy it for what it was. Which I did today, and I absolutely loved it. It obviously made me even more sad because I had to deal with the fact that he was such an incredible talent. He's gone far too soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. How do I follow that?
Very emotional.
No, it's okay. All right. So thank you guys for joining me for this chat. Thanks everybody who was watching. Anybody who watches in the future, check out all the links. Lots of them in the description. And we'll I'll have another one of these spotlight episodes soon, I think. So thanks, everybody.
All right,
Okay,
take
bye,
care, y'all.
everyone.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Take care of yourself.
Thank you very much.